All right, YouTube family. Got crucial moments going on right now for Bitcoin as this wedge here. We got a bear flag basically going on. Everyone's been trying to predict which way the price action is going to go. Derek Evans here. Give you my professional NMLS 155010. Call or text me if you want to buy a refi. You can email me as well. Normally, I'm looking at these charts. Let me get my mug out of here. And get my information on the Scarizine. Normally looking at these charts. Getting a little reprieve today on the mortgage rate side of things. Bonds just reacting a little bit decently. I will tell you, we've been looking at the correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market. And this is 2 days in a row now where the stock market's down pretty significantly. And Bitcoin in particular is sort of flat, just slightly in the green. I personally believe there's money rolling out of stocks and into Bitcoin. And, you know, the people who are manipulating markets, and make no mistake about it, the markets are being manipulated at all times by market makers. So they're called that. You never know what they're setting you up for. Originally, when I saw this, I thought, this really looks like a bear trap. It does. It looks like it's such an obvious short, but it's not going anywhere. And that just kind of feels like a bear trap. Let's just zoom out here real quick. We're not going to go into depth into anything on chain or any of the things that are bullish indicators you're probably hearing people on YouTube talk about. But we have here basically a big uptrend that's holding on by a thread, and it's a very, very macro zoomed out uptrend. Now, if we zoom, so this blue line here is sort of what I'm looking at as the fail safe if things get bad. In other words, if this current bear flag here, if this guy breaks down, I feel like we're going to get support here. We should get some good support here. However, if that breaks down, it's 30K. That's what we're looking at. So risk reward wise, that's just what it is. Now I'm on the 1 hour chart here, and you can kind of see that there's a couple things that concern me. If I'm trying to be bullish about this, there's a few things that concern me. Number one, let's see, I believe it's right here. Number one is we never made it back up here. Like, not even a dead cat bounce to 45, like back up here to this previous support. That concerns me. How did we not at least get up there? Not at all. In this whole consolidation here, we never once got back up to that 45. So that bothers me. Like, how could that be? How's that possible? We didn't at least get a dead cat bounce. The highest we got here was 44.5. So we did come down and touch that macro trend, upward trend line here, just touched it intraday. And when that happened, bounced right off of it. And we saw a 10% pop, and we went down from 39.5 up to 44.5. Boom, just like that. So, we've seen, some things that look bullish, but who's getting trapped here? Someone's getting trapped, guys. This is not, people are getting on both sides of this trade. They're going to lose a lot of money, but just look at this live look at the narrowing tunnel. I mean, look at that. That's what's happening. And both of those are pretty macro moves. So, if we're zoomed in here on the 1 hour, how many hours do we have left here, before something is going to have to happen? Now, it would look and appear as though Bitcoin's going to kind of drift lower, unless it busts out of this thing early or soon. But, it looks like it might just drift a little bit lower here. I do feel like even if we do break beneath this current little wedge we have going on, that we should bounce off of this macro upward trend line, which is now going to be above 40,000. So there's a very good chance we don't go below 40,000 again. There's a very good chance, I think, that, if the worst case scenario, we come down and hit this and then we take off. Might just take off running. It sure appears as if there's money rotating out of stocks. And here's the thing too, while we're doing a little bit of, I wouldn't call this technical analysis. This is really more just common sense, looking at the way the market's moving. But if we get the chance to look at this, if CNBC will load, this is a terrible site to look at charts, by the way. I don't recommend it. But nonetheless, here I am. Typically what we've been seeing lately with the Dow Jones and the major indices is that they would actually open down. They would open down on bad days. They would open down and then they would rally. And sometimes they would rally from big red numbers to big green numbers, or they would at least rally back to even for the day if they opened up red. Now we're seeing kind of the opposite happen. They're trying to push it up a little bit at the beginning of the day. We're actually in the green. Oh, we're opening in the green. But then by the end of the day, we're giving up all this ground. So that tells me that something's going on. Something's going on. It's 2 days in a row. We're still 35,000 in the Dow. And if you look, if you zoom out a little bit more, you can see there's a lot of good things happening here. There's good trend lines here in the Dow as well that may hold. But there's also a good chance we're going to see a little more pain here. So I expect more pain in the stock market. The question is just really, is that going to be good for Bitcoin or not? Because there has been a relatively strong correlation between the two, and that's one of the things that's been really annoying recently about. Let's go Bitcoin here. Let's go Coinbase. There's been this correlation, and we want to see this correlation sort of decouple. But really, if you look in recent history, it's Bitcoin that's decoupled in a negative way. So this is a 3-month chart versus the Dow Jones. 3 months, Dow Jones, minus 1%, Bitcoin, minus 46. So that's not the kind of decoupling that we want to see. So the question is, will they sort of recouple? Will Bitcoin make a move higher to sort of reattach these things, maybe cross over it? That's a big question. And it's really hard to say what's going to happen. But I would just tell you right now, we are in this moment. Like, I'm going to be staring at this chart pretty much now until this breaks one way or the other. I'm just going to, it's like a train wreck. It's something you can't take your eyes off of. It's coming. We can see it. The pedal is to the metal. There's a wall in front of us. You're going to have to turn one way or the other. And a lot of people, especially the on-chain people, think it's going higher. They see that the whales are accumulating Bitcoin right now, and that usually is a sign of a bottom, not a top. That's true, but I just, I always wonder about the fake outs, the psyops. Like, if they know what we're looking at, if they know what influencers are looking at to tell the plebs like you and me what we should be doing, then they can manipulate us that way too. So I'm long Bitcoin. I'm never going to be short Bitcoin. I am long, but I'm not super optimistic at this moment in time. But this is it. Live look right here. Boom. There it is. It is closing in. And man, what an interesting, I guess this could take a few days to unfold. And some people are saying that this consolidation could last a couple more weeks. I'm not sure where they're getting that. I mean, maybe it could. Maybe we break above high here, but then we stay within this range. Maybe we break the downtrend, but then we just kind of stay in the same range. That could happen too. But both of these trend lines here beneath are set up for, higher lows. And so we kind of need to see that higher lows. The one thing I will say, if you just look really, this is a 1 hour chart, doesn't mean a whole lot, but you do kind of see a little head and shoulders here, reverse head and shoulders. I don't know. You could also make the same argument. There's a double top right there. So it's just, we're so confused in this market right now. Even when I pulled up the RSI earlier, it was like right at 50. Right in the middle of the range. So something big is happening. Nobody knows what it is, but I can tell you that me personally, I'm expecting to see this right here. And it would truly be shocking if we didn't. I expect to see some pretty aggressive moves in Bitcoin. And I think as the stock market lags and as rates get raised and people are looking for returns, I believe they're going to look at crypto. And one of the things, let's look at this. This is actually really worth taking the time to look at. A lot of these altcoins are already sort of in like bearish scenarios. I don't know if anyone's caught on to this, but when you look at like the 7-day percentage on a lot of these coins, when you get down to, okay, BNB is only 4%, but Solana 10%, XRP 7%, Polkadot 11%, Avalanche 12%, Polygon 13%, Shiba Inu 15%, Crypto.com coin 11% down, Cosmos 9% down, Chainlink 20% down. Like, a lot of these really blue chip cryptos are down pretty significantly in the last week, and they're down a lot if you go back a few months. So it's kind of like already a bear market on some of these coins. And I don't know if that means that that's the indicator, or if it's just because Bitcoin being sideways is considered to be negative. Like, if Bitcoin is moving sideways, that's considered to be a negative sign. It should be going up. If it's not going up, something's wrong. People are pushing the sell button. I don't know. But when you look at a lot of these, Algorand down 15%. Litecoin's done pretty well. Litecoin had a nice little run there. FTX token's crushing. It's up big. Stellar down big. ICP down big. Decentraland down big. A lot of these are down big. That's just the last 7 days. So it kind of feels like there's already a bear market everywhere but Bitcoin. Can we see that as a positive or a negative? Bitcoin is usually the leader. It's usually the leader. Why isn't it leading right now? It only makes sense that, well, the whales are buying. And that's what's keeping it where it's at. If the whales are buying Bitcoin and not everything else, then that could be an explanation. And that's what a lot of the on-chain analysts are saying. Whales are accumulating, people with large wallet sizes who typically don't sell their coins very often. These people are accumulating right now. Well, that would somewhat explain it, because the whales are probably not yet to the game of, accumulating alts. You don't need to. Why do you need the tail if you have the dog? Market makers aren't interested in the tails. They're interested in the dog. They want to wag the tail with the dog. And right now, for sure, Bitcoin's the dog, and all the other altcoins are the tails. So good luck to us, Bitcoin family. It is going down. Not tonight necessarily, but it is going down soon. We are running into it. Let's hope for some upside action. Guys, have a great night.